What's up, guys? Run it back with another replay, and I've got a bit of a special one for you. We've got Chimbambu and Hitman Hippo playing on Lustrian Narrows here, Kislev versus Slaanesh. I really wanted to showcase this one for the tactics that Chimbambu shows off here, so not really, maybe a bit of a spoiler, I guess, but don't worry about it. You're going to see some really cool stuff here. So we've got just a horde of Hellscourge Marauders and regular old Devoted Marauders. You know, nothing too special about these guys, but they got numbers. They're really not bad in combat either. They got pretty decent stats. And they got the shields too. Makes them pretty durable against a lot of the Kislev missile fire. You know, they got pretty low armor, and it's not the best mitigation, but it does something against armored Kossars and the like for sure. Hitman Hippo coming in with Zarina Katerin on the Frostworm there. Got some heavy war sleds, 3 Kislevite warriors, a Kossar with spears, and 2 Iceguard glaives with the 2 horse archers to round it out. So, pretty small army, but decently elite. The Iceguard glaives are a really interesting choice. You know, they got the magical ammo. They're a very powerful counter to fiends, seekers, any of the Slaaneshi demons, really. Where are those demonettes? Oh, here they are. Demonettes especially, you know, they suffer pretty hard from missile fire to begin with. They're the slowest of the Slaaneshi DPS units. And the Iceguard glaives with their, you know, magical attacks circumvent that Fizz res that they're so reliant on. Gonna be interesting to see how Chimbambu deals with that and how he engages from there. But he's moving up to the middle with the 2 Marauder Horsemen, taking that. Zazel flying around up in the sky a little bit, just cruising, not finding any opportunities right now, but has Pavane and Acquiescence to make some plays given the opportunity. Blissful Rapture for the power spike from the spellcasting. And Kislev responding by taking the number 3. Moving very slowly up to the number 1, not getting any real ticket lead to speak of right now, for either side, but definitely going to have some opportunities to make plays. They're both very quick factions. Kislev has a lot of really good cavalry, obviously, and I don't think Slaanesh needs any explanation. Seekers with 100 speed on the ground, some of which just came in here. Very nice unit. They've got poison, magical attacks, and the armor-piercing weapon strength, man, is pretty nasty against the Kislevite mobility, so it's going to probably come down to who micros that better. Typically is how this matchup ends up getting played. Azazel gets hit with a Death Frost, and we're going to have to see what the play is here for Slaanesh. They're taking a very aggressive stance on the flank over here. I mean, you've got tons of the Hellscourge Marauders and Devoted Marauders out here pushing onto the number 1 up in the trees. I guess keeping an eye out for like Little Grom or something, and not wanting to trade poorly into a gun line, I guess. Maybe the reasoning for that. Using all of the quicker units, some fiends coming in now, to take positions for a middle engagement, potentially. And just slowly building up the army is what it looks like for Chimbambu. Not doing anything too crazy, being very patient right now. Giving a little bit of a ticket lead to Kislev, but nothing too substantial yet. A Frostworm coming in for Hitman Hippo. Pretty expensive summon, and that is a Patriarch. Patriarch coming in. Courage of Sacrifice, the Balalaika, Saliak's Lullaby being the key abilities and items there. You know, gives some good buffs. This just general buff to melee attack and melee defense. This, while their leadership and melee defense under a certain threshold of health. And Saliak's Lullaby to provide a little bit of healing. So really nice stuff, man. Big engagement here, honestly. Heavy war sleds taking a fight against the devoted Hellscourge Marauders. Not getting a great jump on them, and getting a little trapped up, and Azazel pops the Pavane. They rampage into the Fiends, who are getting some big damage on them now. Furies and Seekers here, too. Chipping these guys down. Big loss for Kislev. Heavy War Sleds are an incredible unit, but they can't do stuff like this, so big overextend by Hitman. And a really good punish by Chimbambu, getting on top of these things and dealing with them early, man. Only 500 value on those war sleds, and they're a 1,350 gold unit, so that's a big, big win for Slaanesh here. Losing some of the horsemen here. They're fighting against the horse archers, who are just a little bit better at this skirmish game. Better, well, not better weapon strength, but better range and more accurate, so they're going to get more consistent DPS over time on these guys. And the Slaaneshi cavalry do pull up back into the woods. Probably going to jump out here eventually. They are ceding the objective to the Kislevite warriors and the horse archers now. They were just kind of holding it there to get a little bit of the ticket lead a little bit more equalized there, which is a pretty good idea, honestly. If you're going to be going for this very patient build-up style that Chimbambu is very obviously going for now, then you do want to try and get some tickets when and where possible. It can be a little difficult since you are, like, basically when you're doing this, you're gearing up to take a head-on fight with your opponent's most powerful position on the battlefield, and does cede a lot of mobility game to your opponent. But getting some good effect out of the horsemen regardless, just forcing the horse archers to maneuver around and trade, maybe not quite as efficiently as they could be if the fiends and everything and all these marauders and stuff were taking more aggressive fights early. Because then the horse archers can just go and find a good position to sit in and just fire over the top into, you know, the fiends and everything that are really lightly armored. So I kind of like this decision-making here against this particular build. Frostworm, Ice Guard, Ice Glaives, really nothing happening in the middle. Kislev just trying to find some opportunities to get some damage in where they can. Azazel's taken quite a bit of fire, getting hit by the horse archers and some Death Frost. Looks like another one going down on this guy. Very powerful spell for Tsarina Katerin. Didn't get a lot of respect for a long time, but I mean, it's Spirit Leech, but better. I mean, how much more can you ask for, truthfully? Spirit Leech has always been one of the best spells in the Warhammer series, and Death Frost really not that different. Crystal Sanctuary is the other spell. I think I already mentioned it. Not sure when and where that's going to get used, but theoretically very powerful. I mean, 80% damage resistance, yeah, that unit can't move, but it's 35 seconds of ward save, and it's a significant ward save too. Basically immune, and doesn't stop them from fighting as far as I know. It's not something you see every day, so we're just going to have to keep an eye on that and see if Hitman Hippa is able to actually use it effectively. Horus Archers continuing to fire at Azazel, Azazel continuing to play cagily, and Chimbambu just further building up here. What have we got now? We've got Exalted Demonettes, we've got 2 Fiends, a Seeker, and more Fiends, so 3 Fiends, 1 Seeker, 1 Exalted Demonette, a Fury, Horsemen out here, but they're just kind of skirmishing and occupying as much attention as they can. They're very heavily outnumbering the Kislevites in the middle here. Kislev really doesn't have all that much when you really look at it. Very thin on numbers, and we'll see if the Frostworm and Tsarina Katerin are going to be able to make the difference. I'm not a tremendous fan of the Frostworm. It did get the bonus versus large. I think the idea is to use it against the Fiends here, and it's probably going to be decent at that, but we're going to have to find out. It doesn't have magic damage, so it is giving up 20% of its potential DPS to the Phys-Res of Fiends and Demonettes and Seekers. Another Seeker coming out. Looks like Slaanesh might be planning to get a little more aggressive. They are taking the number 3 objective again. Kislevite Warriors and the Horse Archers playing very passively here. I mean, I know you don't want to just lose these Kislevite Warriors. They're very vulnerable to the Javelins here. So, I mean, if you don't want this to happen, I think you just bring an Armored Kossar out. Because they've got silver shields, good armor. They could persevere through this and counterfire the horsemen. I think that would be a little better than relying on the Horse Archers and Kislevite Warriors over here. So this is a lot of units to commit, and Two of them are very mobile, one of them not so much, so once this middle fight kicks off, the horse archers are going to have to go to the middle, and then these Kislevite warriors are just going to be free meals, so they'll just get chewed up probably, would be my guess, by the Seekers and everything. And if Kislev tries to fight out here, Kislev's got a lot more quick units. Fiends are all over here. There's 3 of those. They can all maneuver over, and they'll have a huge numbers advantage in that scenario. Azazel down to 1,300 health, man. Has not gotten a chance to do much of anything. Poor guy's just been getting Death Frost cast on him all game by Tsarina Katerin. And value is in favor of the Kislevite forces. I'm a little worried, though, because the dive looks like it's on now. Fiend's getting maneuvered away from the Kislevite warriors. Chimbambu playing very smart, I think, seeing that his Fiends were about to just dive into these halberds. Moving up around the flank. Gets a really nice pavane on the Ice Guard Glaives before the dive with the Furies, who get on the rear of the Ice Guard. The other Ice Guard unit getting taken to town, taking a lot of damage from these Furies right now. And, man, oh man, look at this. Acquiescence being popped on these guys. More Furies landing over the top. Diving in droves on top of these poor elites for Kislev. Kossar Spears trying to get away from the Furies, but getting tied up. They're definitely going to be losing that fight. While out here on the flank, we've got a big blob developing. We've got the Horse Archers diving in to help out the Winged Lancers, who are going to fight for their lives against these Fiends. Snow Leopard Summon coming out from Tsarina Katerin. She's fighting in here with her forces popping her, what is it, Stand Your Ground? Yeah, Stand Your Ground active. Helping out, Frostworm doing some good damage against the Fiends here and the Seekers. I think they just killed a Seeker. I heard the announcer say something just died, so I would guess that the other Seeker unit got dealt with already by the Kislevite forces, since I don't see them anywhere else on the battlefield, but you can see just how wide-ranging this fight is. It's hard to cover everything because of how well engaged this is. Chimbambu occupying every single Kislevite unit on the field just perfectly. We've got the Zargard out here. They're fighting off multiple waves of devoted Marauders, doing pretty well for themselves, up to 71 kills already, but completely isolated from the rest of the fight on the middle. Kislevite warriors also fighting off of the middle point and struggling a little bit. They're fighting the devoted Marauders with the Hell Scourges, who are a really good answer to them. About equivalent in price, but the Hell Scourge Marauders with the poison and better melee attack definitely going to win this fight because they're just a little bit more stalwart, I guess. And having that lessened weapon strength going in on them is pretty nice for them. Exalted Demonettes getting into combat against the Ice Guard Glaives with Fiends stacked on top. More Furies helping on the rear of the Ice Guard there. Zargard getting ripped apart as well in this combat, just getting taken to task by the Slaaneshi forces. Kossars do get broken before the Horse Archers are able to break the Furies that were on top of them, which is really unfortunate. Unsummoning another Horse Archer here. I'm not 100% sold on that. You really do need some stuff out on the field, and you can get some good rear charges on the Slaaneshi forces, and those Horse Archers are basically Kossafite dervishes, just with bows, so I'm not a huge fan of unsummoning them. Truthfully, Fiends taking a fight against the Griffin Legion. Griffin Legion taking a lot of damage on the charge in return. Giving it back, though, not giving it up for free. Azazel gets another Death Frost cast on him. He's got about 1,000 HP. He might be in the danger zone. He might die to this. I'll have to keep an eye on him. But Chimbambu promised that he was going to show me off a well-executed dive. Said this was one of the better games that he played, and he's certainly proving it here. We've got Kislevite forces looking very tattered across the battlefield. As I expected, the Kislevite warriors on the number 3 just got picked apart by the horsemen here. Didn't have any assistance after everything else went to the middle. Killed off, number 3 captured. Number 2 captured, too, by the forces of Slaanesh. And the Kislevite forces, their big stuff, doing pretty well for itself, but maybe going a little too tall. The Kislevite warriors not trading well on the front line. Zargard doing decently for themselves out here. They're up to 172 kills. Heavy war sleds coming out in the fourth quarter, running over and helping these guys out. We'll have to see if the heavy war sleds can make a difference here. They are incredibly powerful. Maybe they can clear all these, man, I just don't know how they're going to clear all these Hellscourge infantry. They're all still decently healthy and effective, excuse me. And with the remaining Exalted Demonettes on the field and some Fiends and everything, there's still plenty of DPS for Slaanesh. Not just holding units, but DPS in droves is probably going to just overwhelm the Kislevites here, man. Fiends, how much value have these guys gotten? 1,600 value on these Fiends. Demonettes with 1,900 just about. The other Exalted Demonettes getting on top of the Frostworm. This Frostworm's been doing pretty good, but now it's fighting a unit that is very much not designed to combat. Doesn't have great melee attack, very reliant on that bonus versus large, and is getting the debuff from Charmed, so losing out on some of the stats there. These Griffin Legion also getting melee attack and melee defense tanked right now, man. Brutal, brutal stuff. Terrible engagements for Kislev right now. Oh, man, and the Horse Archers get jumped by Furies and Seekers. They're probably not going to be able to get away. I mentioned it earlier, but 100 speed on the Seekers, man, and slowing everything down and Furies following up. These Horse Archers are cooked right now. And it's very painful. I mean, they did get resummoned, but you're just getting completely pushed off the points. Kislev definitely needed some more infantry here. Going a little bit too hard into the mobility, which has just been very thoroughly countered by Chimbambe. Really awesome stuff. Doing a very good job of microing around all of the Fiends. Most of them are gone, but this remaining one, I mean, with 2,300 value, I imagine has more than made up for any shortcomings in the rest of those mobile units. These Exalted Demonettes, too, man. 2,700 value, tearing Tsarina Katarina apart. She's up to 2,100 value herself, doing really nicely in Azazel. He did survive the Death Frost by the skin of his teeth with 361 HP out here. Only 600 value, but got some pretty good casts of Pavane and Acquiescence and stuff off. And Kislev's going to have to call it there. Brutal, brutal, brutal engage for Kislev. Beautiful stuff from Chimbambe, conversely, so you absolutely love to see it. You know, build-up used to be kind of the meta before the patch where the objectives are just open from the start. Used to be that everybody would just wait for the objectives to open, summon all their stuff out that they really wanted, and just be very, very patient before engaging. But now it's a little more hectic. But Chimbambe kind of rolling it back to the olden days of a sorts, and just waiting before pulling the trigger on that big engagement in the middle and tying everything up very well. All of the Kislevite warriors tied up in the front line by the Hell Scourges and the Marauders, while the backfield got pushed very efficiently with the Exalted Demonettes and the Fiends, all of whom did well, except for this one unit. These guys got taken to task, but the other two Fiends did really nicely. This one did exceptional, even. And Seekers did well for themselves. Great value out of the Furies. 1,200 value on those guys. And just about paying for themselves with the other two. And Exalted Demonettes doing great as always, man. Not much more you can ask for from Slaanesh. As for the Kislevites, I think you gotta play more careful with those heavy war sleds. It's 1,350 gold, and really fed it into the meat grinder there with very incautious play. Hellscourge Marauders do actually have expert charge defense. I think they kind of took that frontal engage, and it was just a little too aggressive. Having the heavy war sled around to peel the Furies off of those Ice Guard glaives would have made all the difference in the world, I think. Would have made it a lot more difficult for Chimbambe to occupy the backfield while the blob fights with the Fiends and Seekers was going on, because Kislev was doing pretty decently there. It was truly in the backfield where all their missiles were just shut down, iced out, and didn't get any opportunity to value trade. You can see none of these guys paying for themselves, and that's kind of where Kislev shines, is in that hybrid shooting. So if they're not doing enough to justify their price tag, then you're probably in a losing position here. Griffin Legion and the Winged Lancers, you know, they came out, they did pretty mediocre, honestly. Zargard did well. They had a little bit more support. They got the heavy war sleds helping them out there. So, Patriarch and the Frostworm also not doing a tremendous amount. Patriarch did some healing, I'm sure, but nothing stupendous. Definitely not enough to outlast the damage that Slaanesh can do. So, I think that I'm going to end it off here. Definitely take away from here, if you're a Kislev player in this matchup. If you're going to bring a build like this heavy war sleds, they're an incredibly powerful unit, but they're not invincible. And Slaanesh definitely has the tools to punish them. So keep those nice and safe, keep them tucked into your formation, and use them to clear out those Furies. Like I was saying, if they could have just run the Furies over and freed up the Ice Guard to support the cavalry in their fights against the Fiends and everything, I think this would have gone a lot better for Kislev. Maybe even a winning fight. But Chimbambu did a great job, as I said, of building up his forces and engaging exactly how you want to with a build-up strategy. Shutting down ranged units with the Furies and casting Pavanes on top of them just to disrupt and keep them from getting value with the missiles, while grinding through the front line and getting damage on the mobility before closing that vice and just finishing off these very elite units was great. Love to see it. Love to see Chaos represent. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see y'all next time. GG's. Peace.